Hey there, welcome everybody to our 2025 TXN Sports World Year in Review Special. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher, back with us tonight. Great to have you back with us, MF. Can't wait to get your thoughts on this. And of course, Michael Bullock, as always. As we saw last night, it was our Talking Wrestling TXN 2025 Year in Review. Hop on over to the Tone 25 and give that a listen, give that a view, and we would greatly appreciate it. And we're hopeful that you will do us a favor here tonight and tune into this one as well. So 2025, we talked about it last night in the world of professional wrestling. Tonight, it's the world of sports turn for 2025. All we're doing tonight is we're just sharing our standout moments. I know you're saying, what about the college football playoffs? Well, don't worry. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Do a little bit of a crossover with Ridiculously Raw. So, anywho, speaking of the college football playoffs, that's where we start. We start that in the month of January in 2025, and it was the inaugural 12-team college football playoff. And it was the Ohio State Buckeyes. Despite being the number 8 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes went on to win the national championship. Dominant performances throughout the entire playoff tournament. And they did so by beating a very scrappy, a very gutsy, and resilient Notre Dame Fighting Irish team. They were the number 7 seed last year, and Notre Dame went on a magical run to the championship game. Had me excited, had our dear friends Mike and Brian Keenan excited, thinking, "Oh my goodness, the stars are aligning for us. Is this going to be Notre Dame's moment after Michigan had their big moment the year before?" No, not quite. Notre Dame dug themselves too big a hole. They fought back. But one crucial bad defensive play opened the door for Ohio State to put it away and win the national championship. And that's what it was. And Ryan Day silenced his critics. A lot of people were calling for his job. But bringing home that national championship, that definitely, more than anything else, saved his job. And then in the month of February, it was Super Bowl 59, a matchup featuring the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles at the Superdome in New Orleans. Kansas City was looking to do something that has never been done in NFL history: win 3 straight Super Bowls. And that did not happen, as the Philadelphia Eagles smashed the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22, including a pick 6 by Cooper DeJean, and Jalen Hurts went off, and the three of us, we were there at Stevie D's for our Super Bowl get together, and man, we were all how happy we were to see the Chiefs get their comeuppance. And it was the Eagles winning their 2nd Super Bowl championship with a dominant win. And then, of course, from there, we had March Madness, the NCAA tournament. Always exciting. We had games here in Providence for the first time in a long time. We couldn't get to go to them, obviously, because of commitments and other things beyond our control. Would have been awesome if we could have, but maybe next time they're here. Hopefully, the stars will align for us to do that. But anywho, on the men's side, it was the Florida Gators. The Florida Gators winning their first March Madness, their first NCAA tournament championship since 2007, when they had the back-to-back championships in 06 and 07. They defeated the Houston Cougars. I was a little brokenhearted about that because I wanted it for Houston because, as you all know, one of my broadcasting heroes, um, my man Jim Nance, he's a Houston graduate. He graduated from the University of Houston. I was hoping Houston would win it for him, but credit where credit was due to the Florida Gators, and they got it done. They won the national championship, and they're third and they're first in 18 years. So congratulations to them. On the women's side, it was the UConn Huskies. First time in a long time they won the national championship. Gino Auriemma adding another trophy to his Hall of Fame trophy case. Paige Buckets leading the way for UConn as they defeated South Carolina to win the women's championship. And then throughout the spring, we also had the UFL, and in the UFL, it was something we hadn't seen before. A team other than the Birmingham Stallions winning the championship. It was the DC Defenders winning their first ever UFL championship. An incredible run by the DC Defenders. Big changes to that league coming next year. New teams, new cities, new coaches. And some of these coaches, very recognizable names. And we will definitely address that, when we get back to our regulation shows in about a month or so. And then, of course, what's the spring without the two most exciting things of the spring? The Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Florida Panthers. History. They made history by going back-to-back. The first team to do that since the Pittsburgh Penguins did it in 2016 and 2017. And ironically, it was the same team they beat in 2024. It was the Edmonton Oilers. We got a rematch. First time that had happened since 2008 and 2009, when it was the Detroit Red Wings and the Pittsburgh Penguins meeting in those back-to-back finals. But the Florida Panthers, they did it again. They won the Stanley Cup. Back-to-back champions. And we will see them in action this Friday night as part of the 2026 NHL Winter Classic, as they will square off against my and Michael Fletcher's New York Rangers at Lone Depot Park, the home of the Miami Marlins. And that's going to be a sight to see, and it's going to be under the lights. That makes it even more interesting. So we'll see how that plays out on Friday night. In the NBA, it was all about one team, and that one team was the Oklahoma City Thunder. Their first ever NBA championship in Oklahoma City. Keep in mind, beforehand, they were the Seattle Supersonics. And they actually did win an NBA championship. They did so in 1979 when they defeated the old Washington Bullets. But this Thunder team, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, dominated the regular season 68-14 and rode that to their first ever NBA championship, a victory over the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. And they're already off to another hot start this year, with the exception of the San Antonio Spurs, who appear to be their kryptonite. I mean, my goodness. But SGA was far and away the MVP in the NBA. And man, oh man, I mean, that team is going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come if they keep those guys together. And then we did have our lull period, into the summer. And during the summer, one thing that kept us going, other than baseball, it was the big three. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. He got us into the big three. And I can honestly say this was, for me, my personal favorite big three season. Mainly because of who went on to win the championship. My team, they renamed the teams. And the team formerly known as Three's Company, they changed their name to the Miami 305. And they ended up winning the Big Three championship. And oh, how happy I was about that. Michael Beasley and company winning the Big Three title. And it was definitely something I'll never forget. It was definitely my championship moment of the year. And then, of course, we started the new seasons in the NFL and college football, and that got us into the late summer and early fall and into the fall. And then, of course, it was the baseball playoffs. And in the baseball playoffs, it was the Los Angeles Dodgers. They go back to back. First team to do that since my New York Yankees, won 3 straight in 1998, 1999, and 2000. They won their second straight championship, and they did so in the most thrilling of fashion. And you know what the best part about all of that was? That the three of us witnessed it together. In a show that I will openly and honestly call my favorite show of 2025, November the 1st. We not only had Saturday night's, the primary focus of that show was Saturday night's main event. But we decided that it was so big that we had to include Game 7 of the World Series. It went to Game 7, and I can honestly say we've seen a lot of great Game 7s over the years. We have. The Twins and the Braves in 91, the Yankees and the Diamondbacks in 2001, the Marlins and the Indians in 97, and of course the Cubs and the Indians in 2016. But I can honestly say that Game 7 this year with the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays, greatest Game 7 I think we ever saw. And on behalf of Michael Bullock and myself, we want to take a moment to apologize to good old MF Michael Fletcher, because we absolutely stole his thunder on that night when Miguel Rojas hit that game-tying home run. I mean, we couldn't help it. I mean, we were just so excited about that moment. In all honesty, MF should have had that moment because he is our voice of baseball. He is our Joe Buck, Joe Davis, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that should have been his moment, and we apologize for that, MF. But we just couldn't help it, man. Not only did we get into it, but we just got so damn excited about that moment. I mean, and then Will Smith with the home run in the 11th inning, and then that furious rally by the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 11th, and then MF and Joe Davis uttered the greatest championship clinching quote you will ever hear: "To beat the champ, you gotta knock him out." And the Los Angeles Dodgers, the winners and still World Series champions. Man, oh man. But what a great year in the world of sports. And we got a furious finish coming up here with all these wild and crazy games in the NFL. Of course, we got the college football playoffs resuming with the quarterfinals on Wednesday night. We're going to preview that tomorrow night as part of Ridiculously Raw, after we talk about Raw and NXT, of course. But man, oh man, we're on our way to the finish line, boys. And we're going to close. We are definitely going to be closing out 2025 with a major bang. And I think we're going to be starting 2026 off with just as much of a bang as we're closing 2025. So buckle up, sports fans. We're going to be in for a wild ride to finish out this year and then start off 2026. And all I can say is we're the three of us, we're all here for it, and we can't wait for the ride. So there's not much more for me to add on. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. 2025 in the world of sports. What a year. I mean, we got a furious finish, and we're going to have a furious open to the new year. I mean, we're all excited. And 2025 in sports, what stood out to you?
I think you pretty much summed up almost everything. You know, I got to say, the Super Bowl was really a dominating performance. Philadelphia came in Um, I think they kind of were mad. They were sick and tired of hearing the mystique about the Kansas City Chiefs, about the dynasty and everything else. And Philly just took it right to them. They beat them at their own game. They roughed them up. And that was, without a doubt, a dominating performance, to say the very least. I know going into the NCAA tournament, a lot of people were hoping to see Duke and Florida at the final. Florida was yelling that they want Duke, and Duke was ready to oblige. But then a big, furious comeback in the Final Four by Houston, coming back from 15 down to win the game, knock Duke out in the national semifinal, only for Florida to do the business to them. They thought that everything was going to go good, and then all of a sudden it exploded on them. Thus, they got knocked out, blowing a big lead of their own in the national championship game. That led to the comeback and the victory for Florida to win the national championship. Um, then yeah, with the Stanley Cup, it was all about about the Panthers winning the title once again, and then obviously in baseball, Anthony, it was about the Dodgers. You know, a lot of teams were talking about the Phillies. Milwaukee was looking really good at one point, but LA found the way. They put the pieces together and they won the World Series. It was a remarkable performance by a team that was really right there for the taking, which was the Toronto Blue Jays, making a historic run to the title, you know, to win the American League pennant. Nobody really thought they were going to make much noise in the season, and then, oh boy, they made a lot of noise. At the end of the day, it was an incredible 2025. Looking forward to 26. Mike Bullock, it is all yours, my friend. Give us your thoughts on the year that was.
Well, like you said, I mean, it started off, of course. Even though it was late last year, we started the first ever 12-team college football playoff, and yeah, Ohio State, they went in as one of the underdogs because I mean, they could have had a lead, but of course, thanks to Michigan, they pretty much dropped them lower. But it almost like it motivated them because it went on a run, and Notre Dame, I mean, gave them all they can handle, but eventually Ohio State came out as the national champions, and yeah, great moment for Ryan Day. I mean, they really needed it after everybody kept saying, "Oh, yes, you beat these other teams, but you can't win the big one, especially against Michigan." Well, they they proved everybody wrong, and who knows, they could be on their way to maybe winning a second straight. So, but we'll have to wait and see as this version of the college football playoffs is ongoing as we speak. And then, of course, yeah, the NFL playoffs. Of course, we end up getting the Eagles and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59, and I mean, Philly, like you said, they beat Kansas City at their own game. I mean, they were getting sick and tired of the whole Kansas City dynasty. I mean, everybody thought that this was going to be a close one, but it wasn't, and all the Chiefs haters were really enjoying this, and obviously now going into this postseason, they're obviously trying to go for the repeat, but this time around, it ain't going to be easy because you got a lot of other teams who are looking to hold the Lombardi Trophy this time around. And then, like you said, with the NCAA tournament, I mean, I thought it was uh, another successful NCAA tournament. And then, of course, you had the start of the baseball season. Of course, the Dodgers going in as the defending champs, and then of course you had the NBA and the NHL playoffs were going, and in the NHL, I mean, like you said, the Florida Panthers, they repeated Stanley Cup champions, being the team they beat the year before in the Edmonton Oilers. So could we be looking at a dynasty when it comes to Florida? We'll have to wait and see. And then In the NBA, of course, unfortunately for the Celtics, their run came to an end in the playoffs, losing to the Knicks. But unfortunately, Jason Tatum, of course, tore his Achilles, and yeah, that was pretty much the end for them. And but of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder winning their first NBA championship since moving to OKC and beating the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. And again, going back to with the Achilles, of course, Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, tore his in Game 7, and of course, because of that, and it happening this late, he's not playing at all this season. So, and we're seeing the effects of not just that, but also some of the guys they lost. And Indiana's a different team this time around. So, and then of course, you got the Major League Baseball playoffs, and of course, my team going back to the playoffs for the first time, and unfortunately losing to the Yankees in 3 games in that wild card series. But of course, the Dodgers repeat as World Series champions, and yeah, we did that commentary for Game 7, and yeah, we went nuts when Rojas tied the game. But I mean, yes, the Dodgers won, but you also got to feel for the Blue Jays. I mean, to be that close to winning their first World Series title since 1993, and then just like that, Rojas literally changed everything, and the Dodgers end up going back to back for the first time since those New York Yankees when they won 3 in a row in 98, 99, and 2000. So, and sending off Clayton Kershaw in grand style into retirement. So, I mean, obviously with the college football playoff ongoing right now, and the NFL, of course, finishing up its season, soon to start their postseason as we head into 2026. So we'll see what the world of sports brings in 2026. So there's really nothing more to say. So it's yours, Florio.
And with that, we're done. We're all done here. So that will put the bow on this 2025 TXN Sports World Year in Review special. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in all year long to all of our shows here on TXN Sports World, whether it was our regulation shows or our various specials throughout the year, like, the NCAA tournament selection show, our recaps of the drafts of the NFL draft, the NBA draft, and of course our NFL schedule release show and college football Thursday, NFL Friday. I mean, we thank you all so very much for tuning in all year long, and the best is yet to come for us, and we cannot wait to bring you even more exciting content in 2026. That's it for tonight. We will be back with you again tomorrow night, right back here on the Tone 25 for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, NXT, their final shows of 2025. And then, of course, on top of that, we will also be previewing the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. And then we'll be taking Wednesday and Thursday off for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And then we'll be back again on Friday night for the Week 18 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. No Thursday night recaps, no other recaps. It's going to be nothing but previews the rest of the way. Previewing all the games of the of Week 18 in the NFL, and then Saturday we wrap it all up. MF will have it, the Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday Night SmackDown, and TNA Impact. First shows of 2026. And that's it. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, as always, the one and only Dee Woodson, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching our 2025 TXN Sports World Year in Review special right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.